Today marks 1544 day of daily lessons, daily reflections. Yesterday I was speaking about capacity, how to measure your capacity, and today I focus on capacity as well, but how to increase your capacity. But for a specific period of your life. That means that when you go through a tough season, when you finish tough season, at that moment, when you look at your capacity is lower than it used to be. What you're able to do, what kind of phases you can go through to increase your capacity. So today I'll share six phases, what you're able to do to increase your capacity after a tough season. Tomorrow, maybe I will share what we're able to do to increase capacity overall. But today, I think that's extremely important topic because we are the most vulnerable after a tough season. We need the most help and increase our capacity after tough season. But every single person has tough season. And then what we'll share six phases, what we're able to do to increase our capacity. Number one, and the simplest one, stabilize before you expand. Now, it's interesting because sometimes it's hard because you know where you used to be, what kind of capacity you used to have. And now when you look into your capacity right now, you're not, and you're far, far away from where you used to be. And sometimes it could be hard mentally, emotionally, and all the ways, financially. But before we can go really get back where it used to be and go beyond that, we need to stabilize. That means we need to look into, okay, what are my non-negotiables daily? So my sleep, my routines, my physical health, my routine of eating and meals properly, all the non-negotiables, all the small things. Because if you're still living in survival and we in live in a house, it's very, very hard to really pursue expansion. So build foundation and stabilize yourself just to make sure that you said, okay, I'm stable. And sometimes when we are bored, sometimes that could be a great part, knowing that, okay, I bored, most likely I have stability, some sort of stability, some kind of core foundation where I'm able to expand on top of it. Because when you are in full house, it's very, very hard to expand. And then sometimes if we don't expand during house, sometimes we can really have a self-judgment and that doesn't lead to any good outcome. Number two, phase two, audit the damage without any kind of self-pity. So that means when we went for a tough season, there will be some kind of damage, but a good damage. That means that we look into, okay, like what that kind of cost me, because I'll be able to really reflect on that because that is the data points. Be able to look into and one thing is that if we do not audit the damage, what will lead to that? If we will skip this step, it might be that we'll go and keep doing the same thing over and over again, almost guaranteed. So when you audit the damage, you know exactly what happened to you, and when you know that, what cost you, what patterns showed up again, what warning signs did you ignore. So that means that damage will come from a lot of mistakes because they said, okay, what did I compromise myself to? And when you know those kind of things, where the damage came from, now you are smarter, you are wiser. Next time you will not do the same thing again. Number three, phase three, install boundaries you were too weak to hold before. So install boundaries you were too weak to hold before. I love the word boundaries. The more the older I get, the more I love that word. And even in games, extremely boundaries are extremely important. If you go out the boundaries, you lose the game. So that means in life as well is that if you go out the boundaries, if you create boundaries and those boundaries are not met by, especially by other people, that means you need to go out of the game. It's extremely important. And one thing is that it will be tough at the beginning because people used to benefit from your low boundaries or no boundaries whatsoever. They used to win this game, so it will be uncomfortable for them. But I think that you need to get ready to it, and I think that you will be expecting pushback because people benefit from the old version of you, but now it's not the same person anymore. So it'll be uncomfortable, but this is part of the growth. And I think that's we need to understand and ask ourselves what I'm not longer available for, or what pace I refuse to maintain. Because sometimes we go to bad season because we had ourselves into the pace that is unsustainable. And we allocate our time to the things that drains our energy without giving any effort or any energy that elevates our energy. And of course, this leads to burnout sooner or later and destroys capacity whatsoever. Number four, phase four, rebuild self trust slowly and intentionally. I think that that's extremely important because during tough season, one of the things that really goes out of the window is confidence, courage, trust of yourself, belief in yourself. So it means those kind of things will need to rebuild. Again, we can look into the past. Okay, what kind of person you used to be, what kind of courage you have, what kind of confidence you have, what kind of trust you have. But that's again supposed to be like that at the point I know that I could be that kind of person, and this is will be just above and beyond later. But we need to really keep ourselves small promises. Like that's why like sometimes even like Jordan Peterson when it says that sometimes he just recommends to really fix your bed. That could be a small win to rebuild trust of yourself. But sometimes you need to start small, and you need to be proud of that rather than say like, "Wow, this is my win. I used to be able to do so much more." No, rather than the self pity of yourself or small win, be able to really look into this a big achievement and really because when we have the better perspective of the small wins, we get energy of that small milestone. But if we don't have the perspective, we can potentially even drain ourselves and we get stuck in that one spot even longer than we supposed to be, and we have low capacity. And sometimes it's very, very important to really have that, okay, exercise at the same time, build very, very strict routines that are very, very predictable. Predictability after a tough season is very, very important because this allows to have safety net in your life. Phase number five is turn pain into rules. I really love the sentence that pain doesn't, if pain doesn't become a principle, that pain was wasted. Because I love this saying that every single thing has opposite. So if it has pain, that means it has some kind of joy. And I mean, you ask me, what kind of joy this pain could bring to me? What kind of character it developed? So there's a lot of things that could be taken out of that pain, but we need to look for it and find it because there is some kind of benefit out of that pain. And if you don't look for it, it will be wasted. And I think that's the we are able to reflect. Okay, so like next time I will address issues early. This is a lesson of the pain. Maybe you didn't address and allow that pain to grow until it went a year by until it became a massive thing before it really you address it. And maybe you were able to address immediately and will not be such a huge thing. So those kind of lessons, I think those kind of rules that you're able to write down for yourself and live with them is extremely important. And that, of course, it will increase your capacity. Those kind of rules really increase capacity. The last one, number six, and I think that one extremely, extremely important is delay big decisions. When you come out of tough season, especially, it's very hard at that season because now you feel that okay, I need to really make some kind of thing, big things happen, and that is the hardest part to really say, okay, let's slow down. One thing is that when you are after tough season, you're still at the bottom of the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, your view, if you look into the mountain, your view of the mountain is the poorest. If you want to see and have the biggest perspective of our surroundings, you need to be on the top of the mountain. So when we are in that lower after the tough season in that bottom of the mountain, we need to allow ourselves to grow a little bit so that I'll get a little bit higher. So at the beginning, when you think about your capacity, okay, making decisions based on daily decisions, maybe weekly decisions. Okay, like I climbed a little bit. Maybe be able to make a monthly decisions, maybe even a yearly decisions. And now we climb above and beyond at that moment. Okay, yes, let's start making 5-year, 25-year decisions. But we need to really reflect because this is very dangerous because probably I've heard that don't make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. And that's exactly what happens is that temporary feelings after a tough season is that there will be a lot of negative emotions. Pity potentially, shame, guilt, regret, grief, all those negative emotions could come up after a tough season. And those emotions will lead to belief that we are not capable, we are not ready, or whatever. And those are leave to other country or whatever. Don't make those mass decisions in a tough season or after a tough season right away. Build yourself up. And when you have that positive joy coming in and you know exactly that you build up your courage, your confidence, your trust, your belief again, at that moment you're able to make any decision that you want. And those are the things that really allow to build capacity after tough season. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.